Welcome to the Lifestyle Overland Story. I'm Kevin, this is my wife Sarah, our daughters Caroline, Abigail, and our pup named Ace. Usually, our family can be found wandering through remote parts of the world in an overland vehicle. Over the past 12 years, we've explored some incredible, wild places from the Gulf Coast to the Arctic coast, with many adventures in between. Now, our story is about to get even more interesting as we add an additional pastime to our crazy lives. And so, without further ado, after 15 years of living in the Wild West and on the road, this proverbial prodigal son and family has returned home to Tennessee as we join grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and old friends in a place that, in some ways, our hearts never really left. To be clear, our overland travels are far from over, but this is our new home and pastime when we're not on the trail. So, stay tuned for more travel and build videos alongside our new farming storyline. Now, grab your gloves, lace up your boots, and get ready to sweat as we dive head first into life on the farm. Oh, and you're going to want to watch where you step. Our first day began with spring planting in the garden. This nearly 1-acre plot has been feeding our family for decades and is always a focal point this time of year to make sure everything gets in the ground at the proper time. With the erratic weather, things have been a bit dry since plowing and disking this, so even with this more than capable tiller, getting the ground broken up is going to take a few passes. After letting my dad demonstrate how this beast of a machine operates, it was time to take a turn and see how the tiller situation had improved since my last experience with my late Papa's Troy-built unit over 20 years ago here in this very garden. After a few passes, I was thoroughly impressed and lost all track of time while memories of so many past planting seasons replayed in my head. With the ground being so hard, we gave this section another pass to make for an easier planting process and to churn up the organic compost my dad had already spread here just a few days before. With our rows laid off, my mom, niece, and nephew jumped in to start planting the Kennebec and russet potatoes. Hopefully, rain would come soon and help ensure the potato crop would fill our bins come harvest time in late summer.
I've been away for far too long. And I've been looking for something I already found. In those sweet summer eyes, saying it's alright, baby. Take comfort in the fear of being alive.
With our day's work behind us, it was time for the satisfying part, covering the potato sprouts with just the right amount of dirt. Come. Ace, come. Stay.
She probably would be okay without this. But
Potatoes are just the beginning of what this farm provides for the dinner table. The next morning, I joined my mom at the barn for one of her favorite parts of farm life, milking her prized jerseys.
This is just our second year milking.
And how old is she?
We don't usually breed them till they're 15 months old. So she's probably getting close to around 4. And she probably would stand pretty well. But just because she's still kind of somewhat in training still, I'll go ahead and tie her to it. But she pretty much doesn't move a lot.
Yeah. So how many milkers do you have now?
Well, there's 4 that I could milk.
Yeah.
But right now she's the only one I'm milking. And Cozy will be having this weekend sometime.
Okay.
So then I'll have 4 that I could milk.
How much will you get in a milking?
From her, I'll get probably 1.5 gallons, which that's really not a heavy milker. Of course, she still has her calf on her.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, she's still feeding the calf, too.
Mm-hmm. But I like milking her because she's a little taller. She stays a little cleaner.
Why do you like the jerseys over the other breeds?
Well, usually they have a better cream content. And but their disposition is a lot of it.
And this one's Violet?
This is Sweetheart. This is
Sweetheart.
from Violet.
Okay.
But there's something a little soothing about that sound. I enjoy milking. I'm not sure why, but I do. But yeah, by that third one, I'm a little tired.
Well, we've been milking them for how long now?
About 30 years. Maybe a little over 30 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Can't believe that. It's been a long time.
Best fed cats in Tennessee right there.
That's why they love me. And one of them will come and sit between my legs while I milk, and I can squirt it in her mouth.
Unlike traditional dairies that take the calves away from their mothers to maximize milk production, my mom has struck a balance that keeps the calf and mother together except for the night before she needs to milk. This gives the cow time to store up a small milking's worth, and the only drama is a bit of angst when the calf is ready for its morning feed, as you can probably hear in the background. Instead of totally stripping the udder, she leaves enough for the calf to have a decent fill once they've been reunited. As you can tell, it's a successful method that feeds both the calf and the family well. Oh, and it's also worth mentioning that these milk cows are only fed certified organic alfalfa pellets, which my parents go through a lot of trouble to source from Kentucky. After pouring through a particulate filter to snag any wayward cow hair, this raw milk goes straight to the fridge. No pasteurization or homogenization means that this is some of the most pure, delicious milk in the world, which is quite literally liquid gold in this day and age of milk being processed for mass production and distribution.
A little more than a gallon and a half. Get it chilled quickly, and that helps it to taste better.
Now the real test is if Abigail can taste the delicious difference. It's warm from the cow. Guess its warm richness is a bit too much to handle, but I'm sure she'll come around with time. Try it, Mom, see how you like it.
She likes cereal milk. It's good. It's weird drinking it warm.
All right, well, we just got the call. We got cows out. This is always a frustrating part of farming. Said it was 2 doors down from Marty's. Right here. So what are you going to do?
Go back here and call them with the feed if you go around there.
After getting some vague directions, I headed into the nearby neighborhood to see if I could find the escapee. I am not saying it. Hey, man.
Hey, he just called and he said there's a couple of guys that got him up next against the heifer field. So right outside that fence line. So I got to drive back over there and help them out.
Where are you at?
I'm right behind you.
Oh. All right, I'll follow you then. After meeting up with my brother back on the farm, we put the pedal down to meet up with my dad and the good Samaritans who were driving the escaped cow back towards the farm. That's right here. The recent rains, while a blessing for the potatoes, were making things a bit slick for the tundra, and we nearly ended up T-boning ourselves with a calf feeder. Ooh, don't go in there! Jeez!
Wow.
Holy cow!
It's sideways.
Oh yeah. Looks like a spot right there that. That's fresh prints.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been doing this for a while. Look at the. There's a path. Right here's the spot, Daddy. This is where they did it. Unless that's all deer. That's all grown in though. You got tools? Usually, cows on the wrong side of the fence will return to their point of escape, like a guilty teenager sleeping back inside their window at night. But this one seemed to have forgotten its exit strategy, or was at least keeping it secret for a future attempt. We quickly had the perfect return cut open and delicious sweet feed as a peace offering in hand. But this stubborn bovine had tasted manicured lawns and was not interested in a treat. Seeing as how no good deed goes unpunished, one of our neighbors took a plunge in the creek trying to head it off at the pass. Maybe walk out in the creek and give her a bite. Come on, girl. Head her off there, Colin. Ooh, that's thick. Hey! After ignoring our best efforts, we finally got another section of fence opened up that was slightly more appealing for reasons unknown, and with help closing in, the cow reluctantly returned home, turning up her nose to our treat in the process, and trotted her way back to the herd. Goodness. Still didn't even want the feed.
No worries.
Unfortunately, this was only step one. Now we had to patch the fences we took down, then walk the entire perimeter to try and find where this heifer went all Shawshank on us. All right, cow is back in the field. Appreciate the neighbors driving her our direction. That saved us on the hunt and the chase. So let's go back and make sure the fence is nice and tight.
Hello.
Hey, you need me to bring anything from the barn?
Colin's walking the fence out. We might need that bucket that I just set out of the tractor bucket.
Okay, is it under the shed here?
Yeah, in front of that feeder. We're going to need some fence clips. See if you can find some of those. There might be some down in that bucket.
Alrighty, I'll grab some stuff.
All right, holler at me.
Bye. Alright, I grabbed a few tools, a few supplies. Let's see if we can't patch this puppy up. The worst section was coming through the field back there with the cows. I was like, I'm going into this fence.
Yeah, usually when you drive forward, you don't have to look through the driver's side window.
Ideally.
There's a couple of spots like that through Acre where it's just low enough where they could hop out if they wanted.
While we never found anything conclusive, we were able to patch some sections that tree limbs and deer had recently taken out. If you're not familiar with farming, maintenance is a constant battle with only so many hours in the day and never-ending to-do lists with priorities that fight for attention on the best of days. Eventually, you find yourself living mostly in crisis management mode, But now that we're here, we're hoping that we can help turn the tide and put things on a path to restoration and improvement. With the crisis mostly averted and a neighbor's lawn slightly mowed and fertilized, it was time to enjoy a few minutes of peace as a fresh round of steady rain brought outside work to a pause. The dusty, dry soil from a couple days before was quickly forgotten after yet another soaking rain brought just what we needed, a perfect watering for the freshly planted potatoes. If it keeps this up, we'll be seeing some sprouts very soon.
Don't wait for don't wait. Someone is here. Don't wait. And I know exactly what I'm looking for. And as we grow, I'll keep running till I can't know. You'll always be the one I want midnight. You'll always steal my breath away. Yeah. You'll always be my heart, my life. Every second, every day.
After catching our breath and listening to the rain, Sarah rang her imaginary dinner bell, and we all sat down to some delicious, farm-raised fried chicken, the perfect end to a long day. Speaking of improvements, the farm has had a few much-needed upgrades recently, including this pole barn for keeping the equipment out of the rain and some of the feed stores dry. There's only one problem. With the landscape falling away on this end, only part of the shed could be used until backfill could be put into place. With building materials and labor sky high thanks to Tennessee's real estate popularity, this project had languished until a creative and affordable method could be devised to retain the fill. It also didn't hurt to have an extra set of helpful hands, and so my dad and I began the somewhat unsexy project of building a retaining wall. But at least I got to use the fancy Kubota tractor, which was a massive upgrade from the old Fords of my youth. Back in those days, an air conditioning cab was something we only dreamed of. But after retiring as a lineman from the local utility a few years ago, my dad added this beauty to the farm and made tractor work a lot more enjoyable. Now, I could cut straight to the edit where I skillfully take a bucket full of gravel in one pass, but holding a 2-year-old while trying to recall a dormant skill set in an unfamiliar and slightly chilly tractor cab apparently wasn't happening. Thankfully, I couldn't hear Sarah's laugh from the roar of the AC, so with my pride still intact, I soon recalibrated for another pass. With concrete and block out of the question, my dad had struck on the idea of using interlocking landscape retaining bricks for speed and affordability. But the real key would be getting everything stable and level without a concrete footer. And so we manually laid down gravel, compacted it, and then added some paver stone sand for fine tuning. It was a learning process, but after some figuring mixed with some storytelling, we were on track. And speaking of learning experiences, we're still figuring out camera awareness. Okay, let's fast forward this project for the satisfaction appeal. All right, howdy folks, and welcome to humid Tennessee. We're at the family farm here, getting a few projects done with the family. The biggest one of which is this pole barn that needed some retaining wall so that we can finish filling it in and all the equipment can sit inside the way it needs to. It's just not even been able to utilize the whole barn for almost 2 years now because this has been a project that needed to get done. So my dad's going to get some more of our paving sand. I've got this segment done right here, and it goes pretty quick once you get your base layer laid down. But the problem is these bricks are so inconsistent. So even if you get the baseline absolutely perfect, by the time you lay 2 courses down, it's all over the place. So we're not building the pyramids here. This is going to be more like the Leaning Tower of Pisa to just keep some of our backfill in place. So yeah, kind of a close enough thing. So the goal is to keep this corner from blowing out the backside. We got some big chunks of concrete down here. We're going to carefully put those down around the edges. We got a bunch of concrete blocks that have been laying around the farm for a century, and we're just going to fill that corner. Thankfully there's not going to be any heavy equipment right up against that wall, so it shouldn't push it too hard. Just trying to contain our backfill so that it doesn't blow out the back. And pretty quickly, another thing we're going to have to do is get some guttering on the roof line there so it doesn't wash out all of our hard work back here in the back. So, multi-step process. After a few long days between dodging rain showers and record heat, we had the hardest part done. Now, all it needs is a 2-inch cap to fill that last gap and backfill so more equipment can be stored inside. Only time will tell if our strategy will work for retaining the backfill, but at least it looks good, if I do say so myself. Good morning, just got a call from my mom. Got a calf being born out here, so let's go see how she's doing. Hey, big boy. Hi. After making my way past the grumpy Jersey bull, who apparently didn't get the memo on his breed's genteel disposition, I then had to traverse a bridge that had seen better days. With the spring-fed 50-degree water below, This wasn't a time to slip up or step on one of the rotting boards. While I did cross successfully, I didn't, however, make it in time to catch the actual berth. But thankfully, my dad came in clutch and got the last few seconds on his cell phone. Apparently this calf was in a hurry to get busy living, because after only a few minutes of being on the ground, he was already trying to walk away.
That's fast.
Now, I know our culture is pretty sanitized when it comes to the less appealing parts of life, but this is how calves are born. It's sometimes loud, always messy, and a little bloody at times. But this excellent mom is doing what she was designed to do. Not only cleaning the calf's fur to help ward off predators, but also providing stimulation to wake up the nervous system and get it breathing properly. The truly gross part is what happens next. The afterbirth is delivered, which is basically the sack that the baby was living inside. Then, the mother eats it. Most of the time, not always. This is again a preservation instinct to cut down smells for predators. But there's also an incredible amount of nutrition in the placenta that will give her a boost, which is just what she needs after her system has been focused on growing a calf and then the strain of delivering it. This calf was lucky to be born on such a bluebird kind of day. It wouldn't be long before he was up and running around with all the other calves. Now it was time to head back to the garden. With weather steadily improving and the fear of frost long gone, we needed to get corn, tomatoes, green beans, squash, cucumbers, and more in the ground. I mentioned before that my dad had spread compost on the potato area, but the downside was that it was kind of all over the place, which meant it was a roll of the dice on if the plants would benefit directly from it. But I had an idea. This time around, we would lay out the rough locations of the rows and then carefully spread the nutrient-rich soil exactly where it was needed to hopefully fertilize the rows and not the space in between. Since we don't use any chemical fertilizer, this is a great way to boost the soil condition every year. The only downside, it's also loaded with weed seed, so it comes with some challenges, but we'll get to that in the future. It wasn't long before the garden was filled with family to help unload the natural fertilizer, and we made short work of something that would have taken a single person over half a day to complete.
Sweet Tennessee, land for my bones and history. Tennessee, find me in your hill and in your stream. Sweet Tennessee, I'll never sing. Take me where the hills are calling, the fields are making green. I don't need some God has shed his grace all over thee.
Now it was time to blend it all together, and so I got to use what was quickly becoming my favorite piece of equipment on the farm. Technically, this machine is called a tractor, because it has more tricks up its sleeve than a traditional tiller. This BCS 739 can be outfitted with a mind-boggling selection of mods like mowers, chippers, pressure washers, log splitter, and even a miniature hay baler, just to name a few. With my addiction to modifications, you better believe I'm dreaming of what else this little machine can do. But for now, I'm just glad it already had a locking differential to make this task a bit easier, along with the pivoting handlebars. Whoever came up with this design really thought it through. With this upper section of garden tilled into a nice soft lawn, striped with darker areas where the compost was now blended, we were ready for some rows. Seeing as how rows are pretty much permanent for the season, I let my dad lay them off so they would definitely be straight. I'll do my own practicing later, maybe when Sarah isn't watching so I can avoid the chuckles at my struggles.
There. You did a handshake?
Yeah, handshake.
Now, Katie.
Katie, you are such a
The bulldozer. Now it was time for the easy part, especially with the handy planner. Crazy enough, I was Caroline's age the first time I used this contraption, so it was a special moment watching her retrace my steps from over 30 years ago. It's also quite a testament to quality equipment, too.
No,
Like she's learning how to ride a bike again.
No, I'm better screenshot this.
All right, let's get the tomato thing up.
With the sweet corn planted and ready for rain, we moved on to the tomato infrastructure. Just as there are many ways to skin a cat, there are just as many ways to tame tomatoes. But over the years, my family has gravitated to a very simple method of woven wire fencing alongside rows of tomatoes so that they can be tied up ever so often with baling twine, which have been cut off of the hay bales from last winter's cattle feedings. Inexpensive and effective is the name of the game here. Next, it was on to the green beans, but not before work was stopped by a pair of lizards who had taken up habitation in the fence post truck. I'm not sure how they missed being squashed, but these beauties got another chance after their rude awakening. Big guys.
Their tail would detach.
Again, there are many, many ways to grow green beans, but after decades of experimenting, my mom and dad landed on a lattice style using welded cattle panels. This not only keeps the beans within reach as they grow up and around the curve, but also gives the picker some nice shade when the summer sun is beating down. Quite ingenious if you ask me.
I started to help you, but after you throw y'all down.
After finishing the beans, we noticed some tufts of green poking up from the potato rows. And lo and behold, our spuds were indeed happy with the consistent rain and making their way towards the sun. But it was quickly apparent the battle against pests had already begun as these hungry little guys immediately jumped on these first plants. Add another item to the to-do list. Top priority, alongside all the others.
Let's see this huge look.
Whoa, that's not deep over there.
With our long day behind us, it was time to relax, watch the sunset, and take in the sounds of a Tennessee stream. As peaceful as this moment was, farm life always seems to know when you're just a bit too relaxed, and it wasn't long before I had noticed something concerning. After searching for the newborn calf, I finally stirred him from a nap in some thick bushes along the creek. But he seemed a little bit on the weak side compared to how energetic he was just mere moments after birth. Then as I watched him join his mom, he just sort of put his head in the general direction of her udder, but didn't seem interested in nursing. Now he could just be full and just going through the motions, but with the engorged udder on his mom, I suspected he was having some trouble nursing. So I called my mom and we decided to take some precautionary measures to, 1, give the mother a much needed relief, and 2, make sure this calf didn't need some additional support. Let's go. Let's go. Oh no. She just got so much milk he couldn't keep up, could he?
Yeah. Let's pull it back a little further, girl. Okay, there you go.
And hopefully she's not got the mastitis.
I don't think so.
But you see how hard that front quarter is there?
Yeah, it's just, she's just got a lot of milk.
Man.
You like the milk, don't you, girl?
Hi, buddy.
He's been eating. He's not bad.
After a closer inspection, it was clear this little guy was just fine, but his mom could definitely use a little relief to help avoid mastitis, which is basically an infection in the udder. Golly.
Look at that. Don't even have to worry about milking.
The bonus to this evolution is that we would be able to set aside some colostrum for any future calves who needed some extra support. Oh, and by the way, colostrum is just some ultra-rich milk that is present in the mother over the first few days of the calf's life to give the baby an immune system boost, along with rich nutrients and vitamins.
We can restock our colostrum supply
yeah.
that I keep in the freezer.
No, that's good.
Although, I kind of wouldn't mind freeze drying some of it for myself.
Yeah,
You know, it's all the rage right now.
that's what I hear. What's that puppy doing? What's that big puppy doing? With her motherly instinct on high alert after such a recent birth, it wasn't long before Mama was getting upset that her baby wasn't with her. In fact, you could say she was downright pissed. It's raining. Golly.
Well, isn't it? Calm yourself.
Go get her. No. Don't do that. There she is.
There's your baby.
We'll leave her over here. She'll get some help.
This was the perfect chance for Abigail to get up close to this calf while Mama was tied up. Again, it was a special moment for me to see my kids getting to experience what I grew up with. I could tell this was going to be one of those core memories, at least for me. Over the course of the last month, my mom has been nursing these little tomato plants from tiny seeds to these now vibrant seedlings. After a few weeks in the basement, they graduated to the porch for some real sunlight and a little bit of hardening in preparation for their life in the garden. Today, this batch is ready for planting alongside the fence we just installed. So, we headed to the garden yet again to get this year's batch in the dirt.
Hello? Is anybody living in there? Hello?
For these plants, we start things off with some crushed eggshells, which are made up of 95% calcium carbonate. This will give us slow release of calcium and help prevent blossom end rot.
Very strong.
Next, a few scoops of compost will give it a direct boost for the roots to take hold of.
I can water them.
Oh, that would be great.
After planting this first batch of tomato plants, we made a few hills for yellow squash and zucchini before the record-breaking heat just simply got the better of us. But we had a secret weapon to fight this off, and headed for the creek to cool down, way down.
To the swimming hole.
With multiple spring sources coming from caves upstream, this creek stays around 50 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Personally, I've somewhat become addicted to cold plunges and the mental and physical advantages I've experienced. So, this was a warm plunge compared to my preferred 34 degrees. But it was still just what we needed after a hot day in the garden.
Oh, man. Woo!
I was born in the South with a twang in my mouth, where the honeysuckle wind did blow. And the older I get by the day, I just miss how simple it was. Bare feet, we were 19, jumping in the water below. You and me were a summer's dream, singing like we'd never grow old. Sweet old Tennessee, it feels so good to me. Ran away, but I'm coming clean. Sweet old Tennessee. These days when I wake up, there's a voice in my ear telling me I got to be something that the world needs to hear.
It's not even summertime yet. Imagine this at 100 degrees though.
Oh, heavy.
It feels good already, but whew. She's like, oh, that wasn't exactly what I wanted.
Think we're crazy? I think the gals thought we were a little crazy too and got spooked with our whooping and hollering over the goosebump-inducing water. Can't say I blame them. I'm thinking a rope swing and maybe a slightly deeper hole might be going onto the to-do list very soon. Once again, rain blessed our soil and our freshly planted vegetables were quickly growing accustomed to their new outdoor life. But as I mentioned before, there were trade-offs to the all-natural compost, and weeds were quickly sprouting in a race against their domestic cousins. Between the bugs and now the weeds, the real battle was about to begin. With things too wet to work in the garden, I checked on my dad, who was working the chunks of concrete and old block around to make a solid bed for his backfill. With these things in place, there would be little chance that the walls would be moving once the equipment was parked on top.
Clearance right there. 9 feet on that corner.
With a break between showers, I was itching to drive our Tundra, named the Grizz, across the farm and check on another primary food source. Honestly, I was just missing some trail time. And while Tennessee doesn't have near as many trails as Utah does, it's nice to have your very own in your backyard. I was also thanking past Kevin for switching to mud terrains, as this route was about to remind me what Tennessee clay is like. Oh, and it didn't help that it began to downpour just as I reached the worst section. I bet you can tell I'm just devastated by this fact, right? I had almost forgotten how beautiful it was here. I'm really looking forward to exploring the lesser traveled areas of Tennessee and the East Coast very soon. It's a surreal mixture of emotions coming back here to this land where I grew up. I mean, who I am today was literally born out of my experiences here. It's going to be incredible watching my daughters grow up on this farm and learn many of the same lessons my papa taught me. I wish he was here now and could see how this prodigal grandson's journey has brought him full circle. To walk these woods again and hear his voice would make this moment almost perfect. As I drive, there's a highlight reel with him playing in my mind. Over 20 years of almost daily interactions is good for making those. Everywhere I look, there's a memory with him tied to it, fixing a fence here, cutting a tree there, or hunting for a pregnant cow over in that thicket. I hope he's looking down now and grinning. He'd probably have something to say about how it was too muddy and that I was about to get myself stuck. Good thing he taught me a few skills along the way. The most important thing is just to keep moving. I've missed this. It feels good to be home. After checking on the beef herd, I returned to the farmhouse for our weekly family night feast. For as long as I can remember, my family has always made Friday nights a special dinner, and this time we would be here for it.
Okay, so do we want to do some sirloin? I'm getting low on steak.
Already?
Yeah.
Tonight, nearly everything we're cooking came from the farm, starting with the grass-fed, organic feed-finished beef, sweet cream corn, last year's canned green beans, and potatoes. About the only store-bought items are the ingredients for my mom's legendary stuffed mushrooms and some brownies. We're in for a proper feast tonight.
When I was a boy, I didn't know nothing. I didn't have a care in the world. I had innocence and ignorance of things I wish I still did not know. But no matter how far these songs take me, if my dreams come true or the heartaches break me, no matter where I make my bed, I long for you. Tennessee, Tennessee, I was born here and raised here, and I'll make my grave here its home. Tennessee. Got a story frozen in time. living and dying, heartbeats and breathing, just trying to make sense of it all. I am the second born of my mother and father. He's a lion-hearted man, she's a Jesus-loving woman, and no matter how far I roam, I always belong to Tennessee. Tennessee, I was born here and raised here, and I'll make my grave here its home. Tennessee.
But even this special night couldn't go on without some drama, and we emerged 3 minutes after putting the stakes on to find the grill engulfed in flames, or turbo mode as I like to call it.
Oh, shoot. Seared to perfection.
That's the disappointment right there.
That's all right. We'll come to the other side.
Thankfully, we were early enough to save the steak from a well-done demise and held it to a respectable medium by the time it was rescued.
Ace out too.
Oh, crispy.
Dang. That's a lot of meat.
Yes. Hope everybody's hungry.
With a hard week of effort in the books and the garden growing strong, we had a lot to be thankful for. Mostly for the family that now surrounds us and works alongside us through challenges and the craziness life throws our way. After 15 years of mostly doing it alone out west, it was a sigh of relief to have an expanded family to be there for us as we navigate our own rough waters behind the scenes. I think I'll always ache for the wilderness, but when I see these girls playing with the family, I know trading a remote life for one of support and community was the right decision. And when we do return to the wilderness, it'll be with a renewed passion from the rest that comes by being close to the ones you love and who support you no matter what. Our farm life adventure is only beginning. We can't wait to show you what's next. I feel like I need a new tagline to sign off with now that I'm home in Tennessee. How about, y'all come back now, you hear?